Spoiling the original Purge, let's do it. So this movie opens up explaining that it takes place in 2022 and crime is at an all-time low, unemployment is at 1%. And the reason for that is because a few years prior, this political party named the New Founding Fathers created the Purge. The Purge happens once a year and it is when all crime, including murder, is legal for 12 hours. So we meet this guy James and his wife Mary and their two kids Zoe and Charlie. They live in a pretty affluent neighborhood. We see Mary talking to some of the neighbors about them locking in for Purge night. And the company that James works for is the one that actually made the security system. So they think they're safe. It's impenetrable. So there's an emergency broadcast system, the Purge begins, and they lock down the house and go about their business. Meanwhile, Zoe goes to her room and finds that her boyfriend Henry had actually broken in and stayed before they locked the house down. Henry's there because he plans on confronting Zoe's father, James, about their relationship because James doesn't approve. Meanwhile, Charlie, the son, is watching the security cameras and sees a wounded man out on the street calling for help. So Charlie decides to disable the security system to let this man inside, which obviously nobody is happy about because they have no fucking idea who this person is. So James rushes to put the security system back on, and meanwhile he holds this guy at gunpoint and is like, you need to fucking leave, I'm sorry, you can't be here. But amidst that chaos, Zoe's boyfriend Henry comes downstairs to confront James, and his way of doing that is by attempting to kill him. So Henry opens fire on James, and while this chaos is ensuing, the stranger who is now in the house escapes and runs away. And James, already having a gun on him, shoots Henry and kills him. So as if not enough chaos has unfolded in the last 5 minutes, they then hear somebody at the door. And it's this group of people armed with weapons, and they are demanding that they release the homeless man that they just let into the house so that they can kill him. And they tell James, if you don't relinquish this man, we are going to break in the house and get him ourselves. So Mary's like, we're going to be fine, right? The security system's impenetrable. And James is like, oh, well, if somebody tries really hard, like, it's definitely possible. So now this whole moral dilemma unfolds because they're like, this guy's hiding in our house. Are we going to find him and give him to these people so that they can kill him, or are we going to defend him? They end up finding him, but when they do, he is holding Zoe hostage so that the family does not give him to these people who are trying to kill him. But Mary and James attack and manage to subdue him, and they tie him to a chair, and they're like, we got to give you up, buddy. And eventually he's like, yeah, you know what? I understand. Like, save your family. But that's when they're like, if we give him up, it just makes us as bad as them. We're not murderers. So they decide they're going to fight. So the deadline that the group leader gave them to give up the man passes, and they break into the house. So now just these crazy fight scenes unravel with all these people in these creepy ass fucking masks against Mary and James. But James is actually low-key a fucking badass, and he manages to kill several of the group members. That is until the group leader comes out of fucking nowhere and stabs him. And then Mary is ambushed and held down by two of them. Meanwhile, Charlie on the camera sees all the neighbors coming towards the house, so it's like, okay, are they gonna come save us? So the neighbors come in and kill the rest of the people in the group, including the people who are currently subduing Mary. So now the leader is the only one left, and he attempts to kill the family, but then is taken out by Zoe. And then they all sit around and hold James as he dies from his injuries in their arms. He deserves so much better. So Mary obviously is devastated, but she starts to thank the neighbors for coming in and helping them. And they're like, haha, joke's on you because we actually came here to kill you. Mary's like, what the fuck? So basically the neighbors reveal that they're all jealous of Mary and James because they're getting rich off of their payment. Because again, James's company is the one that makes all the security systems. Which, like, get over it. You're all clearly rich too. So now they prepare to kill Mary and her two children. But who comes in and saves the day? The stranger who they saved. He comes in the nick of time and kills one of the neighbors. And then he holds Grace, who is kind of the leader of this whole thing, at gunpoint and asks Mary what she wants him to do with her. And Mary's like, fuck this. We are not murderers. There will be no more killing tonight. We're all going to sit here and wait this out. And that's what they do. There's a super awkward scene of them all just sitting at the table in dead silence. Grace, being the fucking loser that she is, tries to grab the shotgun that's in front of Mary, but Mary hits her in the face with it and then smashes her face on the table. And as they're all sitting there, they hear the siren goes off, which marks the end of the Purge night. And Mary tells them all to get the fuck out of her house. And then she thanks the stranger, who we never learn his name, and he wishes her good luck. And the movie ends with a news report explaining how this has been the most successful Purge to date.